Hello, A Day with Caleb. We are back with a massive pickups video. But first, shout out to my newer Spider-Man shirt. Not that I don't have a limit on Spider-Man shirts. I have a ton of them. I will never run out of a variety of Spider-Man shirts. But this is the newest one. I do love it. It kind of harkens back to the Japanese Spider-Man show, which I do enjoy. Comment down below if you have seen the Japanese version of Spider-Man. Crazy stuff. It's kind of like Power Rangers meets Transformers with a little bit of Spider-Man in the mix. But crazy stuff. I want to say it might be on YouTube. Don't quote me on that, but I think so. But you saw the thumbnail. We will be breaking down this massive collection into 2 parts. So this is part 1. Stay tuned in a couple of days for part 2 because there will be boutique titles like this, Arrow, I think a couple of Arrows, a couple other boutique titles, so stay tuned for part 2, but we're going to dive into part 1 now, and this is stuff Josh, the movie collector, my brother, purged from his collection when I remodeled my room. I purged a bunch of movies that I'm going to eventually trade into McKay's. Some I have sold on eBay, some I've sold on Mercari, a couple on Marketplace, but Marketplace is not what it used to be a couple years ago. You know, it's harder to deal with people, harder to get people to want to buy stuff. But anyway, when I went through all that, Josh decided to go through his collection, and he's trading in a bunch, not as much as me, but a bunch of stuff to McKay's, and I kind of narrowed down his trade a little bit because I wanted some of his titles. I tried not to go too crazy, but some of these were printed cases, some of these are upgrades. Some I just want to check out, like the Arrow movies. But let's dive in. First, these are upgrade and printed titles. Wesley Snipes' Bowling Point, that is an upgrade from VHS. Very reminiscent of Dirty Harry there with the gun. But that is awesome in the snapper case. Then these, I believe, were both printed cases. Steven Seagal, Above the Law. That is great. Then Out for Justice. I am trying to get every Steven Seagal film. It's kind of like my Barbie animated films. Why do I do it? I don't know. It's kind of fun, kind of unusual. Not everybody's doing it. This we just got at Smiley's a couple months back. It has a bonus movie, The Truth About Charlie, and it has the original movie Charade or Charade. But my disc was a little messed up, and Josh, his disc was better than mine, has the insert. So I either gave Josh that for trading for McKay's. One of us is trading it in. Maybe he is doing it. I might have kept it. I'm not sure. Double feature Meet Joe Black and Captain Corey's. Wow, Mandolin. I don't know why I can't read that. This one was on VHS. I'm not sure where Meet Joe Black was. Maybe in another Brad Pitt set, but primarily to upgrade from VHS. Another upgrade from VHS, Coma. I love that image there. The Wendell Baker's story has Luke Wilson and Owen Wilson. So cool to have the brothers, and of course Eva Mendes. Junior Detective Agency. This looks wild, but it, being a detective thing with the dog, it kind of sold me on that. An upgrade, Robert De Niro, Stanley, and Iris. Never Talk to Strangers. This one I had printed case. So trying to weed out all my printed cases. We did talk about that in the remodel video. Then in my Purge video, I talked about getting all the printed cases. Didn't have this at all, but it looks intriguing. Especially the cover there with the red eyes. Innocent Blood. This looks too cool, and it looks like something I would like. Arachnid. Very cool. Arachnophobia is kind of in the scary realm, but it's kind of also comedy. Hopefully this stays in kind of the scary realm, kind of like Bats, kind of that. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. Hopefully there's some practical spiders in that. Abandon with Katie Holmes. Touristas, this was just loose in a case. I think an old Blockbuster rental that I got for like 20 cents. November Criminals, Chloe Grace Moretz. Carmen Electra, Monster Island. I know this is a comedy spoof, but it kind of harkens back to the old monster films, like with Ray Harryhausen, the like big monster, like Mothra, all those kind of things. So I think it'd be fun. Then The Hunger looked interesting. David Bowie, Susan Sarandon. Then Nick Cage, Matthew Modine, Birdie. A Guy Who Wants to Fly, it looks like. A Merry Freaking Christmas, Robin Williams. This was another printed case. The Original Italian Job. I had this on VHS. Michael Caine. Love the original, love the remake. Mom and Dad Save the World, another upgrade from VHS. John Lovitz. Another upgrade from VHS, Brotherhood of the Wolf. This is the director's cut. In my case, I don't think was official release. I think it was a printed VHS case. So, very cool to have this. Love the atmosphere of the film. And I think it is French. Right? Is that French? Language French. Yeah, so I think that's French. So I think it is a foreign film. Comment down below and let me know. It's been a while since I've watched it. Sci-fi double feature, Cruel and Space Hunter, Adventures in the Forbidden Zone. Cruel I had on VHS. I think this is in another sci-fi pack, I'm not sure. But good to have Cruel on DVD. Another upgrade from VHS, Dustin Hoffman, Robert De Niro, and I think Yeah, Kirsten Dunst has uh, a role in this. Yeah, Kirsten Dunst. My celebrity crush, Kirsten Dunst. She is in that. But that is a cool upgrade. Brendan Fraser, Joe Pesci with honors. This is a cool upgrade. Collision Course, Pat Morita, and Jay Leno. That is a very cool upgrade. Had that on VHS. Rats, Night of Terror. Looks good. I do have, I think there's two. Not Shepherd of the Gods. Is it Food of the Gods? Where big rats attack this city in, is it Sweden or Germany? Like a small town, and rats invade. Hopefully this is kind of that vibe. This looks newer than those. Those were in the 80s. This kind of looks newer. Oh, well, it says 83, so maybe around the same time frame. Maybe those were 70s. Man on a Wire. This is a good documentary. Gigantic, Zoe Deschanel, John Goodman. The premise kind of intrigued me. Angelina Jolie, Foxfire. This looks like one of her earlier films. And this tattoo was everywhere in kind of the mid-90s. When did this come out? Yeah, 96. If you're a wrestling fan, you kind of can see where I'm going, kind of around this area. This was Goldberg's tattoo. He had the wire. Was it his right arm or left arm when he came out of the smoke? I think his right arm. But he had that, and people had those like those plastic choker things with the barbed wire. So that is cool to see. Then this looks absolutely insane, but I'm here for it. Magic with Anthony Hopkins. You can see there the little ventriloquist dummy. Looks insane, but as I break it, I think we're okay. Yep, we're solid, we're good. But it looks incredible. A Cry in the Dark, Sam Neill, Meryl Streep. Didn't have this at all, so I'm intrigued to watch that. The Great Gatsby. I have the original Great Gatsby, but didn't have this from the director of Romeo and Juliet and Moulin Rouge, which I have both of those. And Tobey Maguire is in this as well. 2013, so 12 years ago. Another Angelina Jolie. No, I'm sorry, Drew Barrymore. With the dark hair that kind of looked like Angelina Jolie for a little bit. Luke Wilson, Dean Cain, Andy Dick, Sean Patrick Flannery. Wow, a good cast here. Best Man. MGM. It's time to check that out. I did not have that at all. This is an upgrade from clamshell, but I kind of keep all my clamshells unless it's something that I have a couple times over. So we'll see if I trade. Well, you can sell VHS, but it's kind of hard to sell like mass-produced ones like Disney. Even though the rumor, you see online that Disney masterpiece and Disney animated go for thousands and thousands online. Not true. They were mass produced. So unless it's like a rare title or sealed or old horror. Now some like when VHS was fading out and DVD was releasing more and more. Some of those like that have both titles uh, can be rare uh, and expensive, like the Cars VHS. Chicken Little was one of the last ones to be released on VHS. Uh, what's one? Just Friends with Ryan Reynolds. Waiting is one that's pretty rare. There's a couple of those, but Eloise at the Plaza, probably not. I try and look it up now because there are rare ones I've had that do go for a little bit that I've sold over the years, so I try to keep a lookout. But we watched this on a Cousins Week. Each year, the cousins would all get together. We would vary from aunt and uncles, trading us around, but we would, for a week solid, we would hang out every day with each other. Too much almost. Play games, Monopoly, what have you. And they got some pretty hardcore sessions. We would go to Six Flags. Our uncle and aunt lived close to Six Flags, so when we stayed there, we would go to Six Flags one day, swim at pools, do all kind of things. But in the van rides, two places or locations we would watch movies, renting at Blockbuster. Man, I miss Blockbuster back in the day. And we would pop it in the TV in the van that I think it was a VCR DVD combo or maybe just DVD. Maybe just VHS. When was either one? We would rent movies like Eloise at the Plaza, Legally Blonde. We watched. Then one time we watched all three Scream movies back to back to back, and me and Josh had never seen Scream. I don't. That wasn't the first R-rated horror movie we'd seen. We'd seen Poltergeist with another cousin when we stayed with him, and that freaked me out as a kid. But White Christmas, this is an upgrade from VHS. I think I have the Holiday Inn on DVD as well. This is the Diamond Anniversary Edition, packed with some pretty cool special features. Then United 93, this was also a printed case. What's the other movie about the other plane? Isn't there another one similar to this? Because I think they did a couple of these around that time period, the early 2000s. This was 06. Comment down below. It's kind of escaping me right now. Joan Crawford, a William Castle film, I Saw What You Did. That is cool. Love the artwork too. That's retro looking. Then last, certainly not least, we have the double feature Gettysburg and Gods and Generals. Gettysburg I had on VHS. Gods and Generals was in a Blockbuster case with the artwork, but they had cut off the back half of the artwork and it was just the front. Then they printed Gods and Generals on the spine with the white artwork, but then the back was just black. So it's hard to get that in a double feature. That was everything today, but stay tuned. In a couple of days, we'll drop part 2, and there's some great stuff in there. Comment down below anything you liked in this video. Stay tuned for part 2. Like, subscribe, share with a movie lover. Until next time, get your siblings' movie collection, or if he's purging, make sure you get first crack at it, and keep collecting.